What's up, homies? Let's talk about growing hot peppers. If you haven't tried it before, go ahead and try it out. It's a really fun thing to do. Due to the fact that it doesn't require much of anything except for a little bit of foresight. Okay, they don't require any special soil usually. I mean, you could really go into it and you can get it to like produce more peppers, but I'll tell you right now, if you throw some pepper seeds in some poor soil, some peppers will come out. And it's more likely that a lot of peppers are going to come out. So you're just going to be pretty happy when you see how many I planted in my garden. And be like, man, I wish I could do that. You can do it. Okay, now is the time to plant some pepper seeds. Now, if you haven't dried out your own pepper seeds, um, just go buy some at the store. They're really cheap, but if you have time, dry them out. I mean, if you're at El Pollo Loco and you see a serrano pepper, cut it open, get some seeds out, dry them out in the dark, and then you put them in a wet paper towel. And I couldn't put them in a Ziploc bag, but I leave the bag open. And overnight, maybe 1 or 2 days, they'll sprout. And then you could plant sprouted seeds. But I just planted a bunch of seeds in the ground. I think they'll do just fine. I'm telling you, the more you try, the better chances you might have. But, watering your plants, that might help. Actually, seeds do require a lot of water when you're first starting them out. You don't want the seed to like start growing and then dry up, and it's a real fragile state to have the seed grow, the little endosperm, the little green part that comes out. You don't want to dry that endosperm out. So keep your soil wet when you're planting your seeds that were dried out before you planted them. You can't plant wet seeds, it's not going to work. Okay? If you live in a cold area, we have a recommendation for you called Grandpa's Hot Pepper. Some people call it Grandpa's Home Pepper. And this was basically developed in high altitude areas like Siberia. It's a Russian thing, in my opinion. And they would grow them in the window. Because, you don't want to miss out on the peppers, and if you don't have a great pepper environment, there is a species for you. It's pretty cold in Russia. It's not the same as it is here in California. I had a friend that grew up in Russia. And the Anaheim pepper, I've tried growing that. It's growing right now. You'll see it. The Cubanelle, hopefully we're going to grow that. Those are just mild peppers that you can grow for your foods where people aren't going to complain about them, like, oh, it's too spicy, or a bell pepper that has no Scovilles, as long as it gets sweeter. I like to grow serranos. I've grown habaneros. I haven't grown poblanos yet, but poblanos are also in the Anaheim and Cubanelle kind of area, as well as wax peppers, but sometimes wax peppers could kind of creep up on you. It depends. I've had people like cry about me barbecuing some wax peppers here and there. I don't know. They're the yellow ones. They're harmless. Once you barbecue them, they're so harmless. So I would recommend growing those. Now, amongst the hot peppers, I would recommend growing Thai hot peppers just to burn your friends pretty good, like 100,000 to 225,000 Scovilles. Those hurt. There's some other real firecrackers that I would like to grow called chili pequin and chili tepin. And these are actually native to Mexico and probably some parts of Texas. And it's really small. And it's, 30,000 to 60,000 for a pequin and 50,000 to 100,000 for a tepin. And they do have a spice called tepin that's really popular right now. It's probably made with those peppers. And I have seen people growing them. Just look around the streets, because real people that use that in their food will have that growing in their yard. So, and it grows really abundant. And when I was a locator, I seen some, and I picked up a few chili pequins I don't know what I did with them. I dried them out, and maybe a bushel sprout up. I had all kinds of peppers mixed in to that bag.